Luciana woke up early that day, as if she could tell that something was wrong. Whiskey had snuck to her room early the prior evening and didn't seem himself. She knew she was being silly, reading too much into the situation, but she worried that he wasn't telling her something big. The soft knock at her bedroom door had her scrambling to open it, hoping that Whiskey had been able to sneak past her guards again to visit her. His nightly visits were one of the only joys she had in life. Her father had kept her under lock and key for so much of her existence. It was as if she was in prison, even having supervised time outside in the gardens. She was always accompanied by her maid, Maria, and at least a few guards. Maria liked Whiskey, and that was Lucy's only saving grace. Without Maria, she wouldn't have met the handsome American pilot who worked for her father. He wouldn't have been able to sneak past her guards without Maria's help, and spend nights with her tangled up in her sheets, whispering about their future together. It was what she longed for, a future with him, and one she knew her father would never willingly allow. How could he give her away to Whiskey when he had already promised her to Lucas Camillo? Their marriage was supposed to solidify the Diaz and Camillo families for future generations and make sure that the two largest crime families in Mexico prevailed. She would never be able to give her heart to Whiskey, no matter how many pretty promises she made, or how badly she wanted to tell him she was in love with him too. Last night, he gave her those words and made her so many promises that she worried that he was in trouble. The thought of losing him had kept her up all night. Lucy pulled her door open to find Maria standing on the other side, and the worry in her friend's eyes nearly tore her in two. She pulled Maria into her room and wrapped her in her arms. "Tell me what's happened," Lucy begged. Maria freed herself from Lucy's embrace and held out a slip of paper to her. "It's from Whiskey," she whispered. "He's gone. I'm so sorry," Maria said. Lucy didn't want to take the paper from her, knowing that if she did, she'd have to read the words that he wrote to her. Whiskey wouldn't have left her a letter if he wasn't in trouble. A small sob bubbled up from deep inside her, and she didn't try to hide her broken heart. Not from Maria. She was more than Lucy's maid. She was the mother Lucy never had. Her mother died when she was only 3 years old, and she barely remembered the woman. Her mother was her age now, just 22 when she passed. Lucy had asked her father how her mother died, and he told her that such sorrow wasn't for her to worry about. He said she was too precious to think about death, and her mother wouldn't want her to know the circumstances of how she died. She bought her father's lies and bullshit stories for so many years, but that all ended when she met Whiskey. Whiskey O'Brien had shown her that so many things she believed to be true weren't. He showed her that there was a life worth living outside of her father's fortress, her prison,